Welcome to the 25th Hour Podcast. I'm your host, Lisa Curly Malice, and today's fun guest is Rita Perez. She is the founder of RitaVentures, which is a travel agency that specializes in cruise ship retreats because stronger bonds form on the waves. Like, how fun is that? She shared her journey into entrepreneurship as well as the challenge she's having right now as she's left her full-time career and she's actually running two businesses. So if you ever feel like, wow, there's too much on your plate, you have 50 ideas before breakfast, this is the episode to listen to. So listen in as Rita and I dig into her productivity bottleneck as well as her inspirational words for you at the end of the episode. Welcome, Rita, to the 25th Hour Podcast. Super excited that you are here. And I can't wait to catch up on everything that is new and different and exciting in your businesses. So tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. My primary business is my travel agency, and I help people first leaders create a larger impact in a unique way through cruise retreats. A lot of people have thought about doing a retreat for their business, but haven't really thought about doing it on a cruise ship before. So I like helping to put all those logistics together. I also recently kind of like went full swing in a second business where I help fellow entrepreneurs set up some systems for their own businesses, which is a little funny in itself because I do need help myself. But it's always like they say, it's easier for you to help somebody else than really to help yourself.
Yeah. Well, and you teach that of what you need to learn. Yes. And so it's going to work out perfectly there. So what's the advantage of doing a retreat on a cruise versus a retreat somewhere else?
Yeah, the first one that always comes to mind is the cost, because on a cruise ship, everything or mostly everything is cost inclusive. And when I say most things, like when somebody purchases a cabin, their meals are included, entertainment is included. So that helps cut on your, as the retreat leader, food cost and activity cost because they're already built in. Second is that, it's just a really awesome experience. It kind of gets you away with, instead of like just going to the local hotel to do everything, where you're still kind of like plugged in, like you're physically getting out of your normal day-to-day routine, which kind of opens up a little bit more like creative juices for whatever type of program that you want to have on your retreat.
And what are some different types of retreats that you've seen on cruises? Like when you say whatever you want to have, what are some different things you've seen?
Yeah, I think some of the best retreats are when people are teaching something else. So cruises are really great for like personal chefs or any type of food and beverage, like awesome for wine drinkers. I would also say health and wellness. So if you're like a fitness instructor and you want to take your clients out and like create a fitness program at sea or even on a river cruise ship over in Europe, those types of things. The last main part that I would mention is coaches who have always wanted to do like either a mastermind or want to have an in-person program, especially after our crazy year. I think having a cruise retreat is going to be a perfect fit.
And tell me more. I think at the beginning you said people first businesses.
Yes.
So what's a person first business?
Yeah, so these are nurturing trailblazers. You're already doing right things in your business to take care of your people. You have a really great client experience. You just want to do something extra and something more. You want to be like the first to be like, I'm the first wine shop that is going to be taking you guys out on a retreat to the vineyards in France. Because how bomb does that sound?
Right? Right. Is that, I call it the and then some experience. It's You already are doing a great experience. Exactly. And then we're just going to bump it up just a tiny bit.
Exactly.
So what's the most favorite cruise you've ever been on?
Oh man, and that's so, I love ocean cruising. I love river cruising. I am actually going to be going on one of my bucket list cruises at the end of next month, and it's a Rhine River cruise. It starts in Amsterdam, it ends in Switzerland, and you visit Germany and France, and chocolate, cheese, all the different culture that you get. I'm so excited. This is a really great itinerary for tulip time. So if you have like any flower gardeny type businesses, this would be really great for. I just cannot wait. Just the onboard experience. River cruises are a more inclusive option than an ocean cruise, which I love because I know I've paid X amount of dollars and I don't have to worry about paying anything else when I go.
Oh, that sounds so cool. You have to let me know how your Rhine River cruise goes. That sounds so cool. So cool. So tell us a little bit about your other business that you just started.
Yeah, so it is a virtual assistant business for travel pros, but I help lots of different people. I help personal chefs, and I'm helping someone who works in supply chain as well. And I've been doing a lot of setups, which I really enjoy doing, especially with email marketing. I've been doing a couple of those recently because I love email marketing in my own travel business. So kind of getting to geek out and help other people. It's kind of like, yes, you should do email marketing and let me set it up for you. I just love the content, and something that's a little bit different from social media, which all of us are like slammed and hammered every single day. I mean, social media is very important, but there's other ways that you can connect with your audience as well.
I love that. So when did you start this VA business?
I technically started last August, but I didn't really dive deep until this May when I did the big jump and I quit my 9-to-5. I was over it and I was like, just gonna take control of my life, stop holding myself back, and like dive fully in. And I have never been happier.
Congrats on making the plunge.
Thank you.
So, because when you and I first spoke, you were, I remember we spoke on your lunch hour. Because I believe you were in the car talking to me on your lunch hour.
Oh yes, those car meetings. Yep. And now I'm finding it a little hard to take a lunch because I just love what I do. I'm really loving helping people out in both businesses. And so time gets away from me, but I know that's something that I'm currently working to hone in on.
Well, and so perfect segue. It's as if we had set this up. Perfect segue. So what I know from working with business owners is that everyone has a productivity bottleneck. Yeah. It's in there somewhere. There's something, myself included, that keeps us from getting everything we want to get done in a day. Yeah. So we are going to dig in and see if we can fine tune yours. So before we jumped on, you were thinking it might be something to do with the calendar, and maybe it will be, maybe it won't. We're going to see. So share with me, what is it that you think keeps you from getting everything you want to get done?
Maybe not having a plan necessarily. I just kind of go for it, and I'm a very paper person. I've recently had a strong desire to do one of those project management systems online, so that even I could okay, I've booked this cruise for somebody, copy paste whatever the tasks are that I need to make sure are accomplished. So I think it's that, and there's just so much, it's almost like I wish there was a huge whiteboard in front of me and that I could handwrite everything down. But I also know that things are always changing too, and that's probably not the best method to go with it either.
All right, so when you say not feeling like sometimes you don't really have a plan, is it a plan for the day, for the week, or is it a plan for how the project's going to go, or that and other, tell me more, Rita.
No, I feel like it is a checklist now really thinking about it, because there's one project that I'm working on and I've done most of it, but there's a couple different things still lying that need to be done. And I kind of want to get that accomplished before I move on to the next project that I work on. But I also know I probably should just Like get something done, then go ahead, go on to the next one, get something done, go ahead, work on the next one. I'm trying to think what else. I think it's like just having a little bit of direction instead of like, okay, today's Tuesday, today's Wednesday, I'm gonna go ahead and yeah, these are the things that need to get done because they're still on my to-do list.
Okay. And is this something that you've often felt, or is this new?
This is new. I still have, and I love my paper planner. I stopped when I initially started working full-time from home. I had stopped using it just because I was like buried so deep into my laptop. I've started doing it just so I can like see what's up for the day and what I have for meetings. So that's really the only system that I have. Also, my saving grace is Calendly and my calendar app in my phone, because without those, like I wouldn't know right from left really. I have also, so one of the big changes that I did when I started working from home is that I would Monday through Thursday fully open for meetings whenever. I have now tailored that down to afternoon meetings because I was finding I would spend a lot of my energy in the mornings. And when it got to the afternoons, I was like, okay, now I still have this work to do. And so I feel like I'm more productive now that I can accomplish, like check a lot of things and then kind of relax and be like, hey, how are you doing? Okay, let's talk. So that has helped.
Yeah. So what you did there was you matched your biological prime time with the right tasks.
Yeah.
So you're putting when you're more tired, you're putting things in there that give you energy.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have energy, you're doing the tasks that need your high focus and energy.
I never thought of it like that, but yes, that's exactly it.
Yes. So congratulations, Rita. Look at what you did. Like that is awesome. And you're doing it out of necessity. You're like, okay, I know what I'm doing isn't quite working.
Right.
Now let's figure out what will work. Yeah. So I want to circle back to I'm still trying to figure out the checklist, like that piece. So at first you said you felt like you didn't quite have a plan. Then you're like, I think maybe I need a checklist. But then you said some days I might know what I'm doing. Some days I might not know what I'm doing. So give me more info here.
Yeah. So there are like certain things that I guess what I am living in right now are things that have to be done. Somebody sent me payment information. I have to book the cruise. I need to make money. Same thing with travel insurance. There's certain things that have to get done that are revenue generating. I've booked a VA client. I need to get their project done and out of the way. The other thing that I have been finding too is that there's not enough time for almost strategy. So I'm making some tweaks in my calendar for that also, because I don't just want to be working constantly on things. Like I want to be working strategically, because I also see creating more groups for my travel business and also hiring subcontractors for the VA business. So I'm not always working on things. So those are long-term things, but it's kind of like, I feel like I need my own systems to be figured out now so that I'm not overwhelmed when I do need to do those things.
Yeah. Okay. And so tell me, I'm going to get there, Rita. I swear I'm going to get to the crux of the problem. So what I'm hearing is you're balancing what you're doing in a day based on your energy, which is awesome. And I'm also hearing that you recognize you need some on the business time because you're spending a lot of time in the business.
Yes.
And that you tell me in that you had some sort of, like you said, a project implementation, some online project system. Tell me more about that.
Well, that is something that I'm looking into, like having someone do a build out for me in like ClickUp or Asana or Notion, one of those project management, because I don't have the time or the capacity to start thinking about something else. I think similar to that is I feel like squirrel. all the time. And I actually caught myself like holding back. There was a new like little mini course, and I'm like, yeah, I think that would help like attract people. And I'm like, hold up, like you can't be doing all the things. And I had a conversation with one of my travel agent friends, and she's like, Rita, you have so many great ideas. And I'm like, that's the problem. I have too many ideas, and I need to like figure out what is, because my theme for the year has always been client attraction, which has been working out really well for me, but I need to make sure that that is also what I am focusing on if I'm not doing those revenue generating items.
Right. All right. So I think that your productivity bottlenecks, because you started with like a plan, but I think it is fine tuning this will sound funny considering what you do for clients, but I feel like it's fine tuning your structure
Yeah.
around how are you doing the different pieces for each business, and taking that step further, where does that fit into the big picture plan? So I feel like there's a disconnect.
Yeah.
There it is. Sorry, I had to speak it out loud before I could get it. So here's where it is. There's a disconnect. I think your productivity bottleneck is the disconnect between the work you're doing in the business and what you want the business to look like, building the bridge to get from one place to the other. And so I think that's where there's that disconnect piece is happening, because you could be more effective and efficient.
Yes.
Yet you're not able to invest the time at this moment to make that. And so it's a snowball.
Exactly. That's exactly it. Like, I feel like I'm drowning, and every day I'm like, okay, I'm going to be done by 6. And then 8 o'clock later, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
And it's not like, I'm not like dreading a work day. It's just, I should not have to work like 10 or 11 hour days to be effective at what I'm doing.
Yeah. And so if we dig it, so I had to speak that out loud for a second. So so here's where I think oh my goodness. Like, I think we got it. So the piece is a priority, where your bottleneck is a prioritization, oh my God, prioritize. We're just going to go, we're going to flip the sentence around to prioritize. What are the pieces where you want to streamline and improve?
Yeah.
And then knock those off one at another. So yes, you are right. It's about having a plan and having the structure and having the whatevers. But like you said, squirrel.
Yeah.
What's awesome about you is that you have more ideas before breakfast than I probably have in a month. And what's challenging for you is that you have more ideas before breakfast than I have in a month. And so that's where your bottleneck is that you have all these things going on. And if you can just give yourself a punch list, this one's first, this one's next, this one's next. And so treating your business structure as if you were your own client for your VA business. There's your bottleneck. Took me a little bit to get there. I'm usually much more succinct, but how does that feel? Does that feel right?
That is exactly spot on. And I've been trying to kind of like tweak what I want to call my model calendar, so that I can be a little bit more productive in that, and not doing like all the things. Cause I'm so enthusiastic about a lot of different things that I'm like, you have to cut that boundaries. That is what I need like help with, like being like, nope, you're only working on this email setup right now. So focus on this. Okay, the hour is up. So now you're going to transition to your cruise clients. What do they need right now?
Yeah. Yep. And it's that, here's fix this, do this, do that. We got it.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So let's fast forward. And all these things are working. Everything is great. And I get what you're saying about, 10, 12 hours in the business you're still energized at the end of that. You just know
Right.
that it should be easier.
Right.
So you're at that place, it's easier. Because one of the things I'll say to clients is it shouldn't be this hard to help people. Like
Yeah.
it shouldn't be this hard. It should be, why is it so hard to be able to help people?
Yes.
You've got it handled. So you have a 25th hour, so like this extra time to do what you want. What would you want to do with that time, Rita?
To have an awesome morning routine that includes consistent meditation and yoga every morning. And also for the afternoon to be able to take a walk or go to a park and stroll a park a little bit, get some of that nature and more grounding. Because I think that's also a little bit of what has gotten a little out of control, is like coming back to me and the self-care and the focus. As an autoimmune patient, that is very important for me to do. But that's not something I've been able to do recently.
Your AM and PM routines sound exactly like what I strive to do on a somewhat inconsistent but basis. It's exactly. So if I can start with yoga and meditation, and if I can end with some sort of outdoor physical exercise,
Yes.
it's perfect.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. What's
like
one? Yeah, you're like, woo. So what's one tip that you would give our listeners? Any tip about anything?
A two-parter: give yourself grace, because I've had to give myself a lot of grace. And two, your calendar is not set in stone. So whenever you need to make the changes, make the changes. And it's okay. Like if you get it wrong, then you can fix it the next week. Just adjust the dates and times.
I love the calendar not set in stone. And last thing, when people want to get a hold of you, what's the best, easiest way to get you?
Yes, shoot me an email at rita@ritaventures.net.
How awesome. And we'll put that in the show notes so that everyone can have it. Anything else you want to add before we close out today?
No, I'm really active on social media. So I have both of my handles on Instagram. I love doing stories and giving it to you real, from what's going on a real business owner's perspective, instead of painting it sunshine and roses all the time.
And thank you for being authentic and open with us today, because we learn best from hearing about how things started and where they moved to, than just pretending like it was all perfect to start with.
Right.
Totally not the case.
Right.
So I am energized and excited about how well you're able to match your biological prime time. And I cannot wait to see what happens when you're able to work through your punch list of activities and streamline along the way. Like, this can be so awesome. So thank you, Rita, for being a guest today.
Thank you so much. I can't wait for that either. I'll keep you posted.
Yes, I cannot wait to hear. Awesome. What did you love most about the episode? Hit Lisa at impactivestrategies.com. Shoot me an email there and let me know. What's your takeaway from today's episode? What are you going to do differently after listening to the conversation from Rita and I?